very, very cold out here. Hi, welcome back to Swiss Family Fun, where we help your family enjoy the best of Switzerland. I'm Tanya, and today we're at the Jungfraujoch, which is one of the most popular destinations in Switzerland. I have lived in Switzerland since 2005, and the first time I came up here was in 2006. It was one of our first mountain adventures, but I haven't been here since then, so I've come out to do a little reconnaissance and see what we can see what's new, what's changed, and what's the same. I'm hoping that the glacier is almost the same, but I don't think that's the case. So come along with us today. We're going to visit the Ice Palace and all the different attractions here, and yeah, see what we can see. In this video, I'm going to take you on a tour of the Jungfraujoch. I'm going to also give you some tips about how to save money on your tickets because it is a really expensive trip. And I'm going to help you decide whether it should be part of your itinerary or not. It really depends on what kind of traveler you are. If you're new here at Swiss Family Fun, we help families plan their trips and their free time here in Switzerland. And we spend really a lot of time answering questions and helping people decide exactly what they should do here. So this video is definitely a big part of that. There are a lot of logistics in planning your trip up to the Jungfraujoch. So on our website, I have a very detailed post that I just updated. I'll put a link in the description below. So if there's anything in this video, you don't have to worry about writing it down. Everything's in that post. So definitely check that out. Please subscribe to our channel and click that little notification bell so you don't miss any of our other upcoming videos about Switzerland. And now let's dig into the details. Before I take you on the tour, I want to talk a little bit about what the Jungfraujoch is because, of course, I know it very well because I live here, but maybe if you haven't started planning your trip, you haven't heard of it before. If you start planning a trip to Switzerland, this will be one of the top things that'll pop up to your list because it is one of the most visited tourist destinations here in Switzerland. In 2018, they had a record number of visitors at 1 million visitors over the years, so super popular. And that also means that in summer and high season that it can get really crowded. Just so you know what it is, so I'm going to show you a map here. You've probably heard of maybe Interlaken, which is this town in the valley between two lakes, and this is a hub where the train stations meet and a lot of the hotels are. Now from there, you'll be traveling up the valley into the Jungfrau region. This valley is split into a Y, and there are two towns that you've probably heard of, Lauterbrunnen and Grindelwald, and these are on two sides of the Y. So if you're traveling to the Jungfraujoch, you're going to be taking a train from Interlaken to one of these two towns that are still in the valley. I have already lost my hat on the bus coming over here, and I realized it just as the train was pulling out, so maybe I'll check later at the lost and found. Wah, wah. Then from there, you're going to be taking a mountain train up to Kleine Scheidegg, which is before the tunnel, and then you will transfer to the red train, which is the Jungfraujochbahn, and this is going through the mountain in a tunnel for about 35 minutes all the way to the top to the Jungfraujoch. So in 1893, they started the construction on this railway, and it took them almost 20 years. I think about 30 workers died in the process of building this tunnel and the railway all the way up to this observatory. So it was a real undertaking. And from minute one, it was super popular with tourists. So, the goal was to bring regular people who are not mountain climbers up to this amazing spot to view the Alps and the Aletsch Glacier, which is the longest glacier in the Alps at currently 23 kilometers, but sadly shrinking. so funny because there's no one here. Must be so unusual. I'm here on December 2nd, and I'm up here on a reconnaissance trip. I normally wouldn't come up here this time of year, but yeah, no one's up here, and it was cloudy and rainy everywhere else. Sunny at the top. I'm so happy. All right, I haven't been here since 2006. I'm so curious what we're gonna see. Let's go do it. Sphinx. I'm up here on the Sphinx Observatory, and it has this indoor area here. You can keep on. The Jungfrau Peak is right behind us here. And then as we come over here to the outside, back here, we're gonna go look at the monk. It's right back here. And really nice glaciers out here. Bring your sunglasses for sure. Made it up to the top of the Jungfraujoch. So excited to be up here. We broke out into the sun. This is just gorgeous up here. This would definitely be a great place to go up if it's all cloudy in the valley and snowing and raining and you don't have any other choices, because we're so high up here that it's often the case that we get snow up here instead of being sucked in. But definitely check the webcams before you come up. It can change quickly though. When I left the house this morning, it said it was going to be snowing up here and maybe breaking up in the afternoon, but it is not a cloud in the sky above us. All the clouds are below us. They've really improved this since our last visit. It is really cute. Lots of fun photo ops, lots of beautiful visuals, interactive things. Love it. Okay, I'm gonna try not to slip. Icebergs. So down there is the plateau where we can walk around on the snow. Go down there. This is the Jungfrau. It's very, very cold out here. I've lost my hat. Bundled up. This is the Jungfrau Peak behind me. We are in the Jungfraujoch, which is between, and then over here is the monk. You can't see the Eiger. We're in the Lint Chocolate Heaven, I think it calls. So it's really interactive, a lot of things to touch and see. And then of course the chocolate shops.
Grindelwald 的火车从
So that's it for the tour of the Jungfraujoch, but I have two really important questions. Should you go up to the Jungfraujoch when you visit Switzerland, and how can you save money on the trip? So let's go to the first one. I know I went over some of these questions earlier in the video, but I just wanted to summarize them here if now you've seen what it's all about and now you got to make that important decision. So the main reason not to go is, of course, it's very expensive. So the last time I checked, it was about 213 francs to go per person to go from Interlaken round trip up to the Jungfraujoch. And if you have several people in your group, this could be an extremely expensive trip. So the question is it worth it? I can't answer that question for you. There are a lot of positives about it. The main reason, of course, for many people is that it's the most popular tourist destination. So some people, it's really important to see that popular thing, to get the Instagram shot, to tell all your friends. You have other friends that have been there as well, and you would say, yeah, of course I went there. I don't want to discount that. I think that's an important part of traveling. And when I travel other places, of course I want to see the really famous things. So if that's important to you, just go. Another good reason is if there's bad weather below. So because of the high elevation, sometimes the clouds will be sinking low over the lower elevation peaks, but you can break through that and see the gorgeous views at the top. So this gets to my other point. If you have very limited time in Switzerland, so maybe you only have one day in Switzerland and you just want to see it all in one trip, this is a great place to go. And especially if there's bad weather down below and you can't see any of the mountains, then go to the top. Of course, you want to check the webcams and make sure it's clear up there before you go to the top. But this was the case on the day that I went. It was raining everywhere else in Switzerland. The clouds were socked in. It was super foggy. I couldn't really see anything until we popped up to the top of the Jungfraujoch, and it was gorgeous. It was sunny. I could see everything at the top. And for someone who was only in Switzerland that one day, that would have been the best thing for them to do that day. Another reason to go is if you have non-hikers in your group or people with mobility issues. They have built most of the amusements there for wheelchair accessibility. So in the Ice Palace, they have stairs, but they have not a ramp, but the wheelchair, I don't know what it's called, where you can hook your wheelchair up and it'll take you down to the ice. I think that would be a little scary maneuvering the wheelchair on the ice, but they have built it that way. So, and they have lifts everywhere and they make it pretty accessible. I'd like to talk to someone who is in a wheelchair or has a companion in a wheelchair and see what they think. I have a friend here in Switzerland whose husband is in a wheelchair, and even though some of the places say they're accessible, that's not always the case. It can be difficult where they have to lift the wheelchair over certain obstacles even though they say it's accessible. So I wouldn't say it's 100%, but they're definitely making an effort. So if you have people that can't walk very far and want to see all of these great views, that's a great option for them. If you have little kids that aren't hiking, maybe you're not an outdoors person yourself, you don't really want to work up a sweat and hike a long distance, here you can get all the great views. You just have to pay the fee to get there. You don't have to work hard at all. So that's a great option for those people. Also, if you need to fill up your day. So if you're on a hike, yeah, you might be out there for a few hours and that's a great way to spend the day. But if you don't want to hike and you need something to do, not only are you getting the nice views, but as you saw in the tour, you can visit the gift shop and the restaurants and the Ice Palace and the Lindt Swiss Chocolate Heaven and all these things. and fill up your day. I'm not saying it's a waste of time. I'm just saying you have things to do where if you're not hiking, you might be thinking, well, okay, I saw the view, now what? So that helps with the amusements. Another big reason people come up is to see the snow. So if you're there in summer and you've never seen snow before, or you really want to go up and play in the snow, then that's a great place, because they do have the fun snow park, which I didn't show in the video because it wasn't open while I was there. But I did talk to a few tourists that were up there, and it was their first time seeing snow, and that's super exciting for them. So they're throwing snowballs, and to maybe go one time on a sled on the snow would be really exciting for them. So that would be another good reason to go. If you're staying in the Jungfrau region for a very long time, so I know some people will stay there for 7 days or 10 days, you might just want to mix it up. So maybe you're doing hiking some days, maybe you're doing a lake cruise, and then going up to the Jungfraujoch will just be a nice way to break it up. So, and it'll add a lot of, variety to your trip. So I think if you're staying a long time, that makes sense. And I'm going to get to in the next section when we talk about how to save money. If you're buying one of the regional travel passes, then it doesn't cost as much to go to the Jungfraujoch, so it makes sense. Okay, reasons to not go. If hiking is a big priority to you, then you're not really hiking at the top. There are so many beautiful mountain vistas that you can see from hikes. So if you're a big hiker, I wouldn't say that this is a must-do. There are plenty of other places that you can go. Now, if you're on a strict budget and you really can afford it, don't worry. There are a lot of other beautiful mountain areas that you can explore right here in the Jungfrau region. One that's still expensive, but about half the price, is the Schilthorn. So it's on the other side of the valley from Kleine Scheidegg, and then you'll take a cable car up to the top, and it's about 100 francs per person full price. You can also, there are ways to save on that as well. But from there, you get a different perspective of that Jungfrau peaks and that area, because you can see the 3 peaks of the Eiger, the Monch, and the Jungfrau, and you can, if you maybe have binoculars or you can kind of squint, you can see the Sphinx observatory right at the Jungfraujoch. So I really like that perspective, maybe a little bit more. I don't know, they're so different, but that's another option if you want to save some more money. All right, so let's get into how you can save money on these tickets. So first of all, if you have kids, any child under 6 will be free on anything. If they are 6 to 16, you need to get the junior card, or sometimes it's called the family card. This costs 30 francs, and then they ride free with you anywhere that you go. You have to have a valid ticket, but then they're free. And you can buy this at any train station where there is a person at the counter that you can talk to. You don't need a photo, but you need to bring an ID to prove that they are that age and they are related to you. And then one of the travel passes will give you a discount on there. So there's a lot of different travel passes. The most likely one to buy would be the Jungfrau Travel Pass, which covers all the mountain transport and public transportation within the Jungfrau region, except for this last section up to the Jungfraujoch, which costs an extra in summer. I think it's 74 francs. But I think total, if you buy the minimum, so the 3-day pass, then it would cost about 137, 140 francs. So that's a big discount on that 213. That pass gets cheaper depending on how many days you buy it for. So that makes a lot of sense if you're staying in the region, and then it also makes sense for you to visit because you're doing a lot of other things in the region as well. With the Berner Oberland Pass, it costs an extra 99 francs to go to the top of the Jungfraujoch. Another pass that people tend to get is the Swiss Travel Pass, and this covers travel on public transportation all over Switzerland. And in that case, I think it's about 135 francs extra to go up to the top of the Jungfraujoch. And yeah, I have a lot more detail on all of these passes on the website. I will put a link in the description below to that. Last tip is for people that live here in Switzerland. If you have a Gay Pass, which is an annual pass for all of Switzerland, or you have the half fare card, you will get 50% discount on that section up to the Jungfraujoch. So this will cost you about 95 francs. I think I priced that from either Lauterbrunnen or Interlaken. It's still expensive, but a lot cheaper than paying full price. If you really want to go to the Jungfraujoch, it really pays to look into these travel passes and make some calculations and figure out the best way for you to save some money. Now, I have a lot of people that email me asking me, which pass should I get? I don't know which pass you're going to get. I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know what hikes you're planning on doing, which mountains you're going to go. You're going to have to do that math for yourself, but I am just providing kind of the base information so you can do those calculations. Well, that's it for today. If you found some of this information helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel and click that little notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. And we'll see you here next time for more family fun in Switzerland.